So yeah, I have no one really to talk to about this because I just don't have enough energy in me to debate with somebody or to argue with somebody or somebody to yell at me to try to like tell me to stop questioning things and just accept it. I don't want to accept it, and I don't want to believe that, you know. So I was in class today, in my education class, and I already not really too hot about that class, but I normally like it when we have guest speakers because I like what they have to say. Today we had a guest speaker and he was Asian, and he was talking on affirmative action, and he was taking like the legal perspective, so he took us through the history of affirmative action and all the court cases, and basically he said because of our history and because of everything that blackness represents and what has been constructed, affirmative action is necessary to help black people get into college. And like before knowing any of the history and stuff, I was actually for affirmative action. I actually thought that I got in here because of it, and I was thankful, and I was like, shoot, whatever's gonna help me get in, like I'll take it. Now after knowing the history and after like experiencing everything that I've experienced, and I feel like affirmative action in itself is so dehumanizing because it makes it seem like all the hard work that I've done, all those nights studying and memorizing just like everybody else memorized, it makes it seem like I couldn't get in, I couldn't have gotten into Cal without being black. Like I couldn't have been, I obviously wasn't intellectually competent to get into this institution or any of the institutions I got into if I didn't go to Moval, if my dad wasn't mean, if we didn't have a lot of money. That stuff is the only reason why I'm here. You know, that's what it's saying. It's not true. It's not true. Black people are not inherently stupid. We're not. We are so competent. When we put our mind to something, just like any other race, whether it be Asian, white, Indian, it doesn't matter. When we put our mind to something and we study and we memorize and we make flashcards and we say nothing or no one's gonna stop us, we are just as competent as anybody else. So why do we need these rules and legislation and people to validate me? Why do I need them to say, oh yeah, she's good. Yeah, accept her. I shouldn't have to. That's not the only thing that frustrates me. I asked him a question. I said, do people from lower income pay less taxes? Because he said the reason why some schools receive more money than other schools is because of taxes. So like all schools receive the same amount of money from the government, right? However, according to him, I want to figure out my own stuff, but according to him, all schools receive the same amount of money from the government. But what makes some schools rich and some schools poor is because property taxes. So if you're from, he compared it, if you're from a house that's like $1 million house and you live in a $500 apartment, this area property taxes are going to be paying more property taxes, thus more money is going to go into their schools. This area that's lower income has less property taxes and less money goes into their schools. So that's how he described it. So then I asked him, I know this is a big question, so how do we stop like segregation of schools? He said, and he turned it into a joke, which is what I think got me mad. He was like, well, get a degree from Berkeley and move out of the ghetto. That's how you stop segregation. Nah. That's how one person gets out. That's not how everybody gets out. My question is, how do you stop this completely, not for an exception? And then he went even further in saying, oh yeah, affirmative action is needed because everybody can't be that one single person that like succeeds without affirmative action. You know, that's only instances. The fact that he said only exceptions can get in without affirmative action, he's basically saying that black people are inherently stupider than other races. Thus, they need this piece of legislation to validate their experiences, to validate that they are worthy of coming to an institution that wasn't designed for them. Now, how am I supposed to sit in class and clap for your presentation and say that you did a bomb job when you just completely invalidated all my experiences, you completely invalidated all my hard work that took me to get into here, and you basically said the only reason why I'm here is one, to diversify the campus, and two, because of because of my story, how I came from low income, and I survived, thus I'm, what about everybody else, dude? What about people who don't have the chance to come to Berkeley? Who are not being inspired by their parents, who are not being pushed and motivated to succeed. What about those people? So you're saying, oh, the only way to stop this is to graduate from Cal and move out of the ghetto? What if I don't want to move out of the ghetto? What if that's the problem? What if that's the problem, that as soon as you feel like you got all this education, then you move out, and then what happens to everybody else? You just leave them there so they can continue instead of you're telling them what helped you and going back. It sucks because although I know this, it's like I would never want to go back to Mobile. And I guess that's why I got even more angry, because the fact that he said move out of the ghetto, that's why I chose Berkeley, because it was farthest away from Mobile. But it wasn't the ghetto that I was running away from. It was the pain. And it was everything that Luna Valley represented for me that I was running away from. I don't know, dude. It sucks. I pray, God, you give me, you show me, just help me. Find people who's trying to, what I do know is that we're not inherently stupid. I don't know how to fix this, but I do know that we are competent, that we are intelligent, that we are capable, and with God all things are possible. That's what I do know. Thanks for listening, Heavenly Father. When no one else would answer my call or listen to me, you did. I appreciate that. Alright, I'm gonna stop crying now. I just need to get that out.